So increasingly, I've been chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee for a few years, and my goal was to bring back to the Senate and to Congress more of the power and control over foreign policy that for years, as you know, decades, generations really, has been easing away to the executive branch. So it really has just been to, the overall goal has been to establish more of an equal relationship. We understand the executive branch has powers that we do not have. So this has been going on for some time. We did it under President Obama. There were concerns in the beginning that possibly, quote, some kind of cheap deal would be made with Russia over Syria. As you know, there were some executive sanctions that had been put in place, and so the idea of codifying those. And then, in addition, pushing back against the cyber activities that had been taking place relative to the election, but in many other areas. Pushing back against some of those people that had been involved both in the defense and intelligence arenas, adding sanctions for just the nefarious activities that have been taking place, supply of arms to Assad in Syria. So there was a whole host of grievances that Congress wished to push back on. So with Ben Cardin, at the right time, if you remember, had multiple conversations with Secretary Tillerson, who wished to have a period of time first to spend with Lavrov and others to see if he could change the trajectory of our relationship.
You used the threat that you might do this to try to get some...
We did. It wasn't a threat. It was a statement of fact. We were going to do it, okay? But you know, in the event there was a breakthrough with Russia, obviously that would alter somewhat what we did. So I told him during 2 work periods ago that we would not take it up. And I met with Ben and others and said, look, let's give him a chance to move this relationship along. The first day of the new period, last work period, I had a classified call with Secretary Tillerson. He was somewhere over the Atlantic. And I told him we were going to be moving ahead. So we put together what I'm really proud of. It's a great piece of legislation from my perspective. Importantly, and this is something more and more we're going to be doing, it has something called congressional review, which says that in the event the executive branch chooses to lift sanctions, if Congress believes that that is not a wise step, that somehow or another this is changing our trajectory foreign policy-wise in a manner that is not healthy, we have the ability to try to overturn that. Now, it's a tough step. You know, the president can veto that. Then it takes 2/3 of each body. But I think it's an important aspect and should be a part of all that we do in the future, okay? So anyway, we didn't really negotiate. So we put a bill together. The Banking Committee was involved. We worked closely with Crapo and Brown. We got an excellent piece of legislation. There were some technical issues. It went over to the House. We worked very well with House members, Kevin McCarthy in particular, to fix those. It was not a watering down in any stretch of the imagination. It was fixing a few technical issues it needed to fix. Some of our European allies had a couple concerns. Again, not a watering down, but a statement of us working with them on a couple of issues. But it came back overwhelmingly with 3 dissenting votes yesterday. And to the question of negotiating with the White House, we didn't. This was done totally, it was really Senate, within the Senate, 100%. We didn't really, I don't mean this, I'm in no way trying to be audacious in my statement. We just didn't. We didn't negotiate with the White House or the State Department.
So